1106. Putting the spotlight on local businesses in the capital city. This is 402 Business Insider with Travis Filing and Gary Tharnish on 1499.3 KLIN.
And good morning, Lincoln. Maybe, maybe not. We're just going to jam a little bit while we figure out what's with the mic. Oh, is it one? How about that? Nope. There we go. Is it working? It's not working. Is anybody else working?
It's just like the...
Oh, this one's working. There we go. Good morning, Lincoln. Okay, now we're not back. We're just playing a little past the microphone. It's kind of like one of those bands, you know, where two guys are sharing a microphone and off you go. That's right.
It's a cakewalk. You did not get a seat. No cake for you.
That's the thing I love about live radio. You never know what's going to happen, you know?
Good morning, Travis.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
Well, you're listening to the 402 Business Hour and or Business Insider, and want to give a quick shout out to a couple of our sponsors. One of them is UPS Stores, 5 locations in Lincoln. These guys are fantastic, and a brand new sponsor, Western National Bank.
Sweet.
And yeah, they have 11 locations. They're like all across Nebraska and Kansas. And these guys are fantastic. They're just regular guys.
Yeah.
You go in there, T-shirts, jeans, just fantastic guys. So want to thank them and welcome them aboard. And, of course, our guest is Doug Fitzgerald. And One Shot, One Life, and Beachbody, and KLIN radio host. So, welcome to the show, and welcome home, I should say.
Right.
This is fun, passing the mic around and enjoying it. It's just like a home again. And anyway, no, thank you so much. This is really good to be here. Congratulations on the show, by the way.
Oh, thank you. You know, I'm so excited to have it, but I was kind of bummed when I found out that I was replacing because I loved your show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So, no, you guys are doing a great job. Of course, Gary, I've known Gary for a long time now. Good friends over the years.
Yeah.
So, no, but congratulations. You're going to do a great job. Sponsors, you know, if you're out there and you're listening, I'm telling you what, this spot here is probably one of the most prime spots on Saturday, in my opinion. And Gary and Travis are going to take care of you. So jump on board.
Absolutely. We have a couple of sponsorship openings left. I think we have 3.
That's about it.
Good.
So, everybody seems to be jumping on board, and the show is going fantastic. So when we started here, because we were somewhere else for a long time, and I thought, gosh, this would be perfect to get Doug in here and kind of do the whole, not really handing off the baton, but someone was telling me what you were doing, because I know you started, were one of the founding people of Beachbody.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about that. When you got started, what got you started into Beachbody?
Well, I was in radio. I started in radio when I was 16, went to a local station in Albion, Nebraska, and my mom and dad said, go talk to the general manager, and they put me on the weekends. And so that's got, I was in radio. I went to school for radio. Came here. My last gig before KLIN years ago was at a station called B104.
Right.
Here in Lincoln, long time ago.
I was on 104.1 The Point, which was B104 before. Then it went to The Point, and then I was on it overnight.
So this is interesting. So my graphic design company actually designed the logos for The Point.
Okay.
Back then, because I had a graphic design publishing company, and I was doing the radio show.
Okay.
And all that stuff. So
I love their logo. It was so hip at the time.
Cool.
It was like late 90s.
Yeah, and you'll both be glad to know that I did support that show with advertising dollars of my own.
Did you really?
I remember that station. Yeah, it's a good station.
So they did that. Then God calls me into ministry for about 13 years. And during that time, it was down in Texas. Love Texas. And but Texas has a lot of good food. And so I gained quite a bit of weight. And so from that, God called us back to Lincoln, and I was a pastor here at Heartland's Church. We started that church, and I knew we just had our second child, and I was a little overweight, and I thought, I'm going to lose some weight. So we ordered this program called Power 90 off of an infomercial. Well, back then, years ago, it was kind of risky, right? It's kind of like Bitcoin now. Do I order it off? And Tammy's just like, my wife's like, just go ahead and get it. So we ordered this program, got it in the mail, started losing some weight, getting good results. Called the number on the back because I'm like, hey, I've got a question about the diet plan on this thing. Guy named Carl answers the phone, answers the questions. He said, hey, if you get great results when you're done, send us the pictures, send us the results. We did that. And they said, hey, would you come out to Hawaii and film some infomercial footage for us as a transformation?
Let's see.
So we head out to Kauai, find out Carl was the CEO of the company. It was a startup, and he answered the phone out of his garage with his assistant. That's how early on it was. And he was like a marketing genius with Guthrie Ranker back then. So they did all kinds of infomercials and stuff. Anyway, long story short, I helped go to QVC and I was testimony person with Tony Horton, the creator of P90X. We'd travel around and do stuff. Well, once I did P90X, they're like, hey, we want to get this product into more people's hands. So do we go big box stores like Kmart's and Walmart's back then and all that and Target's, or do we go the network marketing route where we know that people who get testimonies and transformation, they're going to share it with their friends anyway? Our whole church pretty much was doing Power 90. We literally did infomercial footage here for one of the commercials because Tammy and I did it. And then a lot of people were starting to lose weight. We're like, man, what are you doing? They're like, well, we're doing that Power 90 program that you did years ago. I'm like, seriously? And it ended up being like 50 or 60 people in the church doing it. So they realized that there was power, right, in mouth-to-mouth, sharing of what you're excited about and promotion. So long story short, they called 41 of us back to California, and they said, hey, we're going to start a network marketing division of Beachbody. And if you want to do this, jump on board and do it. I told Carl, our CEO, no 3 times because I'm like, nope, got a church. It's network marketing. I don't know about this. I'm not so comfortable about it. And he's like, no, hear me out. So we made a decision, my wife and I, and a good friend of mine, Tracy Morrow, and Tony Horton. We were at the base of the staircase at the Beverly Hills Wilshire Hotel. Of course, it was awesome, right? But we're like, we don't want to do this network marketing thing because it just doesn't have a good connotation at the time unless we promise each other that we're not going to be what we said icky about it. In other words, we were just going to be who we are. And we made that commitment. We made that pact. We did that about 20 years ago, and it took off. We said yes, and it took off. So I retired from full-time ministry, and that's really been the main source of our income. We own several other businesses, but that was kind of the main source of our income for the last 20 years.
So what year was that you started?
Oh, boy. It would have been 2001, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
And now how do you, because I think back and I look at, there were so many fads back those days. There were so many different things. There was the scary lady with the short hair, the Stop the Insanity lady. You remember her?
Yep.
She was terrifying, man. And there was, everybody
the
had
Gazelle guy.
Oh, yeah.
Tony, his name was Tony too. All kinds of weird things.
Yeah, there were crazy stuff. So what made you go, this is the solution, this is the product, this is the plan, versus when you look at it and go, gosh, there's so many out there, how do I differentiate?
I'm going to step in real quick and say I would bet it's the standards of the people involved and their integrity and their character.
Yeah.
That would be my guess, knowing Doug.
First of all, the products worked, right? And it wasn't a gimmick. And we'll talk about P90X here in a second. It wasn't a gimmick. It was eat right and move. That was it. That was the solution. And then getting to know Carl, our CEO, knowing that he wanted to do this to help people, to change their lives. And then the people that were surrounding us, we were already helping people. Here's the interesting thing about that. So Carl had asked us before the network marketing side, he had asked a few of us who had great results with it. He said, would you be willing to answer questions of our customers when they have questions versus our telemarketing people? Because you have had results with the programs, they haven't. And so we're like, yeah. So about once or twice a week, I get an email from customers who are using the programs. And we would just build a relationship and share, answer their questions and stuff. So it goes back to what Gary said is this was a company that was based on, we're going to be truthful with people. We're going to be honest. We're not going to be icky about it. And we're going to build relationships and authentic relationships. And because of those authentic relationships, it grew. The P90X thing, honestly, Beachbody almost went out of business. Because P90X, it came out, and for about 6 to 12 months, it just wasn't selling. They changed the marketing cue on it. Carl told Tony early on, it's an intense program. He said, people are not going to want to buy a program where they're going to have to work out really hard.
Right.
That's what Carl had told Tony. But they created the program. We had gotten results. I was a guinea pig. There were several of us that were guinea pigs. We knew it worked really well. And finally, they got a marketing campaign that really clicked, and then it became a international phenomenon.
Right.
Everybody was doing P90X.
Yeah.
Because
it
they were
was
getting
huge.
results. Tony's an awesome guy who's authentic, and then you could see the transformations in people, right? And it worked.
See, and that's the thing that always killed me was because we own an ad agency, and so one of our clients was a gym in town. It was owned by a different group of people, and we went out and we looked and went, there's so many, everybody falls for, and yours is obviously not a gimmick, but there were so many gimmicks that were out there, and you go, gosh, which one do I choose? Which one do I take? And we actually did a whole program of, or not program, a whole series of commercials making fun of a lot of these. Suzanne Summers had the thing that put between your knees. The Thigh Master, thank you.
My Lord.
And
I haven't thought of that for years.
Target one area.
yeah,
Let's
and
go.
we did one that they had they put these shower caps on your feet and you slid from side to side, and it's like, really, this is the program, and so it worked great for us because we were helping sell gym memberships because it's like, how do you cut through it all? And so, I think it's fascinating because that's what you need. Somebody, because I am obviously overweight. I probably need your services.
Authentically, I've gained the last year and a half. My life has been just been turmoil, and I have put weight back on too.
Yeah.
And it's I've worked out nearly every day for almost 20 years, but my life, maybe we talk about this later. The last 6 months have been just a roller coaster. But yeah, I mean, everybody deals with it, right?
Yeah.
It's life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's life. I met with Tony, back in January. We were launching a new company and new programs with him and we met and, we were both talking like life happens, right? And so I think part of the authenticity of when you market, if you're real with people and say, you know what, nobody's going to be perfect, and nor should we expect people to be perfect. Life is going to happen, and you're going to go through the ups and downs. As long as you can walk authentically alongside people, that's what people want. That's what I want. That's what you want, right? And it doesn't matter. And to me, that's the core of business.
Right. I talk about that all the time. Like the young realtors that I mentor, especially if they're in their 20s, they'll be like, what's a good real estate book I should read? And it's like Personalities Plus by Florence Littner.
Yeah, that's good.
What? No, I meant real estate. Yeah. That's what it is, because it's all relationships. Really, everything in life is.
It really is. Yeah, it doesn't matter what the product is. If you are genuine and sincere and really, truly want to help people, you will find success. You'll find your passion with whatever niche you're in, but you have to really serve people first.
And you won't be afraid to share it with people when it's truly your passion. You know what I'm saying? When you get results, a lot of people are afraid to share things or talk about things or promote things. It's because they don't truly believe, most of the time, in what they're sharing or selling.
Yep.
But when it's part of who you are, the reason why I loved Beachbody, I had results. Bottom line, right? I knew it worked. I knew the people around me. I didn't care who I was sharing it with.
Yep.
But if Carl had come to me and said, "Hey, I know you don't know the program, but just go out there and sell it," I don't know if I could have done it.
Yeah, that would be tough. Well, we are coming up on a break here, so we are going to run to that real quick, and you are talking with the 402 Business Insider, Doug Fitzgerald, Travis Feinling, Gary Tharnish. We'll be right back.
Stories of local success. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
And we're back on the 402 Business Insider. This segment is brought to us by Home Design Realty Group, which is Gary's group, and the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. I want to give a quick shout out. If you guys own a small business, this is a business owner, 2 business owners, 3 business owners in here telling you this is such a great group. And if there's only one organization that you're going to can join, this is the one, because they cover so much and they actually truly help your business. So just quick shout out to the Lincoln Chamber and Home Design Realty Group. So now we're back with Doug Fitzgerald. And so you got your business started about 20 so years ago. Mm-hmm. And then it started building, it started growing. Tell us about, just some of the trials and tribulations of the 20 years that got you to the successful point.
Oh gosh, it's a 5-hour show. Because I've been alongside some of that.
You
I've
have
seen
been.
It. Yes.
You have been.
Yes.
When you launch anything and you start a business, if you're listening, you understand this. You're going to have the ups and downs. You're going to have the things that work and don't work. We literally were launching a website selling the Beachbody products, and we were waiting every day for it to go live. Literally, I remember being on the treadmill with my laptop, pushing the button, refreshing the page. Is it live? Is it live? And we were selling stuff that wasn't available yet. But it finally went live, right? And things started to take off. And I was a pastor here at Heartland's Church here in Lincoln at the time, and the elders were great. They're just like, hey, we'll walk alongside you, and once it becomes too much, we'll make a decision at that point. We're about 7 months into it, retired from full-time ministry because it just took off.
Yeah.
When we started, the first conference we had was in Las Vegas. And I've got a tattoo on my arm, and the reason why I have it there, it's part of my book. It's part of what I talk about when I share with people. My wife and I were there for the conference for Beachbody. It was the first one. There was probably a couple hundred people there. And the executive team decided to leave early. It was our anniversary weekend. So they're like, hey, why don't you take our suite at the Wynn Hotel, back then the Wynn was the hotel in Vegas, and just enjoy the rest of the weekend. So Tammy and I went. That night we went down to an Italian restaurant, and we were sitting at the table and we're eating. And here's the weird thing. It was a Sunday night. There was nobody else in the restaurant. It was right off the casino. Like, that is weird.
That's very weird.
So it was just us and this old man from China. And I say old, he was probably in his 60s to us back then.
Oh, you meant season.
Hey, wait a minute.
You meant season, yeah.
So, and he was our waiter, and he started striking up a conversation. And he's like, hey, why are you here? And we were telling him, and so we're starting this new business, and we don't know for sure if we should, if it's going to go or not. You have all those feelings of anxiety, and is it going to happen? And you have these dreams, but you don't know if it's going to happen. So we were just talking to him about it. And he's like, Doug, let me do something for you. So we went over to the wait table, grabbed a receipt, a blank receipt, and he wrote down this Chinese symbol, and it's called the Ren symbol. And so he started to tell us, and there's a Chinese fable behind it, but basically it represents a heart with a knife over it. And then he wrote the word endurance underneath it. And he said, Doug, Tammy, he said, I have a feeling this is going to be very successful. But he said, I want to tell you some wisdom. You're going to start something that you're passionate about, and you're going to have great days, and you're going to have days that suck. Mm-hmm. And he said, the Ren symbol basically means you're going to have those moments when your heart is pierced throughout the journey, but if you endure through the process, you're going to see success. And we lived by that. Mastering persistence over a long period of time in what we were passionate about. And that's really what helped us kick things off, get things going. But it was kind of that motivator in the back of my head the whole time to say, keep moving forward.
Yeah, it's the old, when you're going through hell, keep going.
Well, business in general. I mean, it's easy to hide your failures or let them get you down. But really the thing is, find a blessing in every failure, be able to talk to others about your failures and maybe why did this happen, or get advice from others. Sometimes I think business owners get out there and they feel like they're in the ocean in their boat all by themselves.
Right.
And you're not. All business owners go through very similar challenges all the time. And so I've always thought you were really good about that.
Well, thanks.
Not failing.
I didn't know exactly.
You are one of the best failures I know.
That's right.
Thank you.
You can
Thank you
fail
very
You're an
much.
amazing, successful failure.
So well.
I just felt I had to bring that up anyway.
And that's something though too, is when you're in business, you really have to reach out to other business owners and have conversations, and don't be afraid of your failures, because that's what hardens you, and B, some people can help you go through it, because we all have failures. I mean, I've got 6 figures worth of failures stacked up,
right.
And it happens. I've made bad decisions in my business. It happens. Talk to people about it and let them, it's good and therapeutic for you because you're going to learn things. It's therapeutic for them because they also realize, hey, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one that's screwed up big in business.
And find the blessing and the lesson.
Yes,
those two
absolutely.
Because there's a blessing in every failure. There's a blessing in everything.
There is, but when you're going through it, you're like, oh, crud.
And you feel like you're the only one that did it.
No kidding, right?
You feel like you're the only one that's made this mistake in the history of business. I'm the only one that signed on for this, and I lost X. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not the first one.
There's two things that I think that because they always talk about, I don't know what the stats are, but what is it like, nearly half of every business fails within the first 2 or 3 or 4 years, something like that. Right. There's two things, I think. Number one, I think people get into it with this dream or this passion. They may not necessarily know what they're actually getting into. So there's a little bit of inexperience or maybe lack of passion for the product or service, right? But the other part of that is, Gary, what you said, it's when you're in business, you feel like you're alone. I'm going to pick on guys. Most guys try to endure by themselves at anything in life. Mm-hmm. And most guys fail. Whether it's like marriages, relationships, business, it doesn't matter.
We try to provide, protect.
That's what we're designed to do.
Exactly.
And if we can't do it, we feel like a failure. And then when we do fail, then we really feel bad about ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we feel like we're by ourselves, and then we won't open up to other guys. And then it's just this spiral, this snowball that takes over, and most people aren't willing to get out of that mess and sit down with somebody and talk to somebody and say, listen, here's what I'm going through. I had to do that with our dear friend Jeff, Gary. I had to do that a few weeks ago with him to say, listen, life sucks right now for me. I mean, it did, and I just had to pour it out to him. I've got a success partner. So here's another thing that I think is a key to success, and I wrote it in my book. You got to have a success partner. You got to have somebody who's willing to walk alongside you along the way on a regular basis, to pick you up when you fall, to encourage you when you're discouraged, to celebrate you when you win, because you need that. I've had Tracy Morrow has been my success partner. We meet almost every day. We're doing Marco Polos, but once a week for sure. We've been doing it for the last 20 plus years. We have laughed together, cried together, hurt together, planned together, built together. I mean, everything. If I didn't have Tracy, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today.
Wow.
I don't know if we'd had the success with Beachbody either. But you need that in every aspect of your life. Yeah. And I think it's a good point.
True. Yeah. So, about 1 minute to go here. So, when you are working with your team, your group, your partner, what does that look like when you have somebody like Tracy? What does your relationship look like? You guys just get together and talk, or?
Well, Tracy's a little unique. That's pretty unique. I lay out in my book, like, how do you find a success partner? Why do you need a success partner? And then what do you do? Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times when people get together, like, hey, let's meet together. And I always encourage people, don't let it be your best friend, because you need somebody who's going to be truly authentic and honest with you, to tell you the good things and to tell you the bad things.
Correct.
And if you can't take that from them and they can't take that from you, it's not going to be a good relationship. You have to have that out on the board. But then be very specific about what you're meeting for. Right? If it's about business and developing business and all that, you have to lay out, we're going to talk about strategy, we're going to talk about future plans, how everything's going to work. If you don't have a plan, a lot of times, especially if you're talking about business and business growth and development, you'll get together and you're like, hey, let's go have coffee. We're going to meet on Saturday mornings. Great. And then you talk about your kids and your grandkids and the football game.
Right.
And the great basketball last second shot,
exactly.
To win the whole thing, and you never get to the point of why you're meeting. Yeah. And then you step back and you go, oh, is this really worth it? So
absolutely. Well, we got a break coming up here, so you are listening to the 402 Business Insider, and we will be back right after this.
Brandon Rector.
Building business, one story at a time. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
And we're back. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider. This segment is brought to you by Transformation Marketing, which is my marketing outfit, and Complete Family Dermatology. And I'll tell you, skin cancer, folks, is a killer. The most important thing I tell people, well, this is what I tell people, like I know what I'm doing, but what Jeff tells me, the doctor tells me, is if you see something in the mirror, and it looks different, you know what your skin looks like. And if you see a spot, give them a call. it could very well save your life. So Complete Family Dermatology, they have 11 locations across eastern Nebraska, and they are fantastic and a brand new sponsor. So we just want to welcome them. So now we're back with Doug Fitzgerald. We were talking a little bit about having somebody kind of a partner, so to speak, to sit and talk business. And, it's so important because we live in this phony Facebook world right now where you get on, everybody goes to Facebook, and they take a look and they go, oh my gosh, I am such a mess as a business owner, because I get on and I look at Doug's profile and it's all Skittles and rainbows. And then I get on Gary's profile and it's all Skittles and rainbows.
Oh, I
and
made
my
that
life's
up.
falling apart.
I made that up.
That's all I do.
Good, just so you know.
That's all I do. Because you feel like you have to compete. Like, my life's a wreck. My business is going through struggles, trials, and tribulations, and everybody else's business seems to be just going gangbusters. Yeah. Well, it's not. And so that was one thing when you brought that up. I'm like, yeah, this is crucial. Have somebody to talk to, and not somebody who you're really close with.
Right. That's key. One of my most successful Facebook videos, live videos over the last few months, was one where I got on one night and I just spilled my heart.
Yep.
I said,
know this one.
I just said, here's what's happened over the last few months. Here's where I'm at. And I'm struggling. We're hoping to move forward with different things. And it drew in so much. And it drew in a lot of business, too. Yeah. Because people were relating to that and understood what was, and I think some of the best things to do is to be honest and be real with people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't do that, and people can see through that. We can all see through that, right? We can see when somebody's having a facade put up or whatever. But, going back to the partnerships and having a success partner and walking alongside, I would encourage you, if you haven't done that, it doesn't matter what area of life either, if business, relationships, whatever it might be, find somebody. If it's important to you, if it's something that you truly want to impact the world with, find somebody that you can walk alongside and be real with them. And you'll find more success in that when you're digging into that.
First off, with Tracy Morrow, you found a diamond in the rough, and she the same, so that's awesome. But I'll have friends that'll be like, yeah, I've been struggling with this forever and ever and ever, and I'm like, well, it gets to a point. They always want my advice, and I'm the guy that, like, 2 minutes into meeting me, people will say, Gary, I've never told anybody this, but, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want to be that guy for everybody. But that's my gift that the Lord gave me. But I'll oftentimes say, have you spoken with anybody professional about that? Yeah, I've been seeing a psychiatrist for 12 years. I'm like, change. Something's not working there. You shouldn't like your psychiatrist, right? You should leave and go, well, he's full of crap or she's full of crap. But then really they're telling you what you need to hear.
This guy kicks me in the backside every time. That's supposed to happen that way.
Tracy Morrow has a unique gift, I think, having watched her speak many times live and also just on Facebook Live and many different things, of being able to talk to somebody about a challenge they're going through where you walk away from it feeling like, without knowing that she's pointed out the blessing in it, she's pointed out the lesson in it, but more so you walk out feeling empowered. And I think that's an important thing too. Finding somebody that's willing to say, hey, Gary, you're walking down the wrong path. This, you might want to consider where this is going to head, what it's going to do. You need to pivot this way or whatever. Maybe something I don't want to hear, but at the end of it, there's suggestions in there and things that make sure you walk away empowered.
And that's a skill.
I listen to her and I feel empowered every single time I'm done listening to her.
And Tracy, just so if you're listening, and if you've listened to my shows, I've had Tracy on. Tracy is the relationship expert with the John Maxwell organization. John's the top business leadership guru in the world.
Oh yeah.
And also we built, we're founding partners with Beachbody as well and some other companies. So, but she is amazing. But it's what's called. I'm a person of faith, but it's what's called being prophetic, right? Being prophetic and being a prophet isn't about telling the future. It's about identifying the what you talked about, Gary, what the potential for that person could be, and pointing that out in a way that's encouraging but yet pointed. In other words, it is direct. It's like, no, I'm not going to be afraid to share this. If I'm like, you know what? Buddy's sitting down and we're having some drinks or we're eating or whatever. And it's like, yeah, well, I met this gal at work, and she's pretty nice. And we built the show and be like, no, whoever. And like, this is probably not a good thing. And just so you know, you're probably walking down the wrong path. I love you, but to help save you down the road. That's the kind of relationship when you talk about success partners. And the other thing about this too is there are different seasons in our lives, right? So people will come and go. And one of the things that we always tell people when you're talking about success partners, and this is in life in general too, have a start date and an end date, right? Say, all right, we're going to meet for 3 months. We're going to see how it goes. After 3 months, we're going to evaluate. Is this beneficial for you and for me? And if it is, maybe we can continue forward. If it's not, then maybe it's a natural way to say, you know what, maybe we'll part ways without feeling bad about it or feeling guilty or sitting in a relationship going, man, I really don't want to go to this meeting again, but I feel like I have to. You have a start, ending point, and evaluation. Evaluating your life in every area on a regular basis is key. Blaise Pascal, what is he? I think he was in the 1600s, theologian, a physicist, all this super intelligent guy. He has a quote that I love. He says this: all men's miseries derive from not being able to sit in a quiet room alone. All men's miseries derive from not being able to sit in a quiet room alone. In other words, being able to sit down and evaluate life, think through life. You have to have those moments where you're by yourself when you're with other people, but they've got to be intentional is the point.
Sure.
I've got a room in my house that is just my room. And I go there, sometimes it's 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes it's, in the afternoon, whatever. I go there and I just sit. And think and process and gratitude and identification. I got a whiteboard that I write things on, things that come to mind, thoughts, ideas. So it's important to evaluate life personally and even within business and partnerships.
I think some of my success now in real estate has been doing, we call it the Ninja 9, but it's a selling system that was developed years ago. But it's been amazing for real estate. But one of the things I do every morning first is my affirmations. I write those down, write them out 30 times. Write them out. I don't type them. I write them out. So I get that reticular activator going that Jeff loves to talk about. And then I write I write 2 note cards to people. I think I've sent you a note card before.
Oh, yeah,
probably.
you have.
And I do that. And then I also plan out my day. What do I need moving forward in my day? And then there's like 5 other steps. But basically, that is my quiet time. And then part of that is I put everything down and I sit. I don't have a specific room for it, but I'm always alone for it and do just what you said. And it's amazing what comes to you in those times.
See, and I've done nothing like that. That's an interesting concept. It's something to think about.
Well, here's the interesting thing. People always say, complete the sentence. I always get my best thoughts and ideas in the
quiet time. For me, in the mornings when I'm sitting there.
I don't think I have any good ideas. I think I'm all out of good ideas.
Most people will say shower.
Oh, that's interesting.
And you know why?
Why?
There's nothing there to distract you.
Oh, it's true.
There's no phone. There's no nothing. There's nobody else. Well,
that's
usually
true.
There's nobody else.
If it's a bad day.
That's right.
That's right. Bad day. But it's because you're alone. It's one of the only places in our culture right now, unless you intentionally make time to be by yourself, where you're literally alone.
That's
so
interesting.
True.
So
that's interesting. Well, we are up on a break, so you are listening to the 402 Business Insider, and we're going to be right back.
So let's talk about
Lincoln's entrepreneurs, one conversation at a time. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
And we're back with the 402 Business Insider. This segment is brought to us by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I spend a lot of money down there.
I did too.
Because I get in so much trouble at home, and jewelry is the only answer to make that.
One of my $5,000
Sartor
Sartor Heyman rings is in the water off the coast of Hawaii. So if you find it, it's a ruby.
I smell a scuba trip coming on here.
Yeah.
Our other sponsor of this segment is Integrated Behavioral Health Services. So if you know somebody like me who's struggling with mental health, I joke about it, but I shouldn't. They are the crew that's going to get you back on that road to recovery. So Integrated Behavioral Health and Sartor Heyman, we appreciate you guys.
Doug, I want to pivot a little bit into a new business venture you're getting into that I happen to know about. So tell us a little bit about that. I know a little bit, but I'm going to let you do the speaking. The company is Siona.
Yes.
Am I saying that correctly, by the way?
Siona.
Siona. So C. Okay, Siona.
Yeah. So, and I shared this on the air a couple of times. Back, it was at the very end of September. I was getting ready to go on the afternoon show. Literally, the mic was turning on. And I got word through social media that the Beachbody Network side was closing down. I had no idea. Like, it was a rug pulled from underneath us, and it just set in this panic of what are we going to do at this point? Where are we going to go as our main source of income? Of course, we've got several different businesses. We own a salon in town. I speak, I MC, I've got a book, Beachbody. So anyway, long story short, Tracy's like, I've been praying about this. I've got this friend, Becky Bursell. Becky used to work with John Maxwell Organization as an executive. She was in network marketing for, 30 years or so. She always had that passion, right? We go back to the passion of what she believed in. Mm-hmm. She's like, I've always loved network marketing. I believe it's the best model to help people both financially and with products. And so she went out earlier in 2024 on her own and started Siona. And then she'd always been talking to Tracy about this because they're really good friends. And so finally when Beachbody, when they closed the doors, Tracy's like, man, what if we could get Tony, who had stepped out of Beachbody, 10, 12 years ago. That was kind of a rug pulled underneath from him. And what if we could get Tony, we team back up again, and we get a second opportunity to do what we did before. And now we have a little more wisdom, a little more excitement. We get to have an idea of the products we're going to develop and create. And so we've got 3 key products. We just signed Tony Horton on to sell his products as well as workout programs and all that. So those are going live. Actually, they were supposed to go live yesterday, but in any startup, you have the ups and downs and the hiccups. So that'll be on Monday. So we'll have Tony Horton workout programs. He's part of our team. We have all these opportunities for people to get together, meetings across the country and all this. So Siona is it's a great company. It's great people. It's leadership. I didn't think I was going to get back into network marketing before. When everything shut down, I told Tracy, I don't know. Again, I told her no. She's like, no, you got to do this. And so the reason why I'm in it goes back to what we talked about earlier. I got to know Becky Bursell. I got to know the leadership of the company. I know Tracy. I know the products that they have. These are good, solid people. And they're people that I'm willing to go to bat with and battle side by side for.
Well, we're going to come back to this. We've got to take a break here, but you're listening to the 402 Business Insider on KLIN 1400 AM and 99.3 FM.
There we go.
Where Nebraska business owners tell their story. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
And we're back for our last segment of the 402 Business Insider. And another new sponsor I want to talk about is James Arthur Vineyards.
Yay.
And how is this for a segue? For the month of March, they are pairing junk food with wine. So don't need reservations.
Yes.
You can start Beachbody on Monday.
That's right.
We can head over there right now. You don't need reservations. $12. Cool Ranch Doritos and wine. Sounds crazy, but crazily enough, I want to try it.
I'd like the number 3 with the Chardonnay,
That's
right. Preferably Italian.
So, very good. James Arthur Vineyards, we appreciate you guys. So now, last segment, how do people get a hold of you? How do people get in touch with you?
I would say right now, social media. You can go to oneshot1life.com. We're in the transition of moving some things over. But social media, Facebook, Doug Fitzgerald, Instagram, Doug Fitzgerald, LinkedIn, Doug Fitzgerald. Connect. If you've got questions, message me, private message me. I wrote down one thing that I'd love to share, a book and it goes back to kind of some of the things we were talking about earlier. But if I were to recommend a book, it's a short little book, Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret.
I want to write that down.
Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. You can read through it really in an hour or so, but I'll cut to the chase. You want to know what the strangest secret is to him?
Do tell. So you're going to save me a couple of minutes of reading.
I'll save it. You become what you think about.
What you think about expands. I say that to myself every morning. What you think expands.
You become what you think about. It's true. So if you say, I stink, I'm not any good at this, I suck at business, whatever, guess what? Subconsciously, you're going to live that out. But if you think, you know what, this is a new day, I'm going to make a difference, I'm going to make a sale, I'm going to impact somebody's life, subconsciously that happens.
Yeah. It's so funny because I own an indoor golf facility, right? And I tell people the same thing. When you walk up and there's all your buddies are standing there and you're on the tee box, right? And you stand over that ball and go, oh my God, please, just don't slice it off into the woods. Don't kill it. And no matter what you do, there it goes.
There it goes.
Right in the woods. I mean, every single time. Unbelievable.
Doug, thank you for joining us today.
You bet. Thank you, guys. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll have you back. I'd
love to.
So you're listening to the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, and we will see you next week.